Hello everyone. Today I'd like to introduce our TiSpanner product series. First, let's take a general look at the product. The size is very compact. Even after upgrading to the larger version, it remains quite small, making it ideal for everyday carry. It's a multifunctional small tool. At first glance, you'll see a nail puller here. If you unscrew this part, it can be used to tighten or loosen external hex screws. This side can measure distance. When it's retracted, there's an attack head here. When fully open, this part functions as a bottle opener. Additionally, a new feature introduced into the 2.0 version is a nail file, or shaping stone, located here. The 3.0 version added another feature. Both models can standard with the driver bit, allowing you to tighten or loosen screws in everyday use. Today, I will dive into details for each function and explain how we will enhance their usability. First, as a wrench-shaped product, we will examine the screw tightening function. This brings us to a key design point. Previously, the screw rod used a fan pitch thread. Looks those commonly thin, very dense and thin. We discovered an issue during testing to open the wrench to a significant extent. For example, to grasp a screw, it requires many rotations, taking much longer than desired. Therefore, this design will specifically upgrade to a square thread. Can you say it? This is called a square thread. What's the advantage for a square thread? Its lead is very large. The lead is the distance between two corresponding points on adjacent threads. For example, from one point on a thread to the same point to the next thread. This lead determines the distance it travels when rotated 360 degrees. With a larger lead, the jar can extend much faster. Additionally, when upgrading from 2.0 to 3.0, many customers design a larger wrench size, as the original might have felt too small in their hands. We thought, since we are making a larger wrench, why not make it more robust and akin to a solid tool? So a noticeable upgrade in the 3.0 version is that even when proportionally enlarged, this center axis is thicker. A thicker axis allows to withstand a great torque when tightening screws, providing more leverage. Furthermore, another upgrade in the 3.0 version is here. Can you see it? This is not present in the 2.0 model. We will add an end-slip texture. There's also some at the top. This significantly increased friction when tightening external head screws, making the process much easier. Both our smaller 2.0 and larger 3.0 models come standard with a D-ring upon shipment. This D-ring is provided because we are incorporated a glass breaking function at the rear. In the very first version, we directly threaded a keyring horizontally through this direction, creating a loop here. However, many customers provided feedback that this design wasn't very logical. If you had a string of keys attached, the attack head wouldn't be usable, as the key would obstruct its operation. Therefore, in both 2.0 and 3.0 versions, we will standardize the D-ring. This way, you can attach a key here, and the key simply flips over. With the key here, you can see that entire attack head is exploded when I hold it. This attack head is very useful, whether for breaking glass or opening a package. Of course, there's a point note here. The D-ring is an accessory we procure externally, made from zinc and nickel oil. Some people feel that this oily D-ring doesn't quite match our titanium oily product. However, others really like the D-ring functionally. This is a matter of personal preference. We may consider upgrading to a titanium OLED ring to match our products in the future. Next is the measuring function. As you can see, its logic is quite simple. As I open the jar, the scale below moves. This small ceramic bead marks my measurement position. The 3.0 model is also the same, just larger. So the distance I open the jar directly corresponds to the reading on the scale, allowing me to measure, for example, the width of my hand directly. In the 2.0 version, due to its very small size, the initial design provides maximum metric range of 3.5 centimeters. After adding the imperial system, we found that because the conversation between imperial and metric isn't a neat integer, the imperial scale would be set to 1 and 3/8 inches. It wasn't until the 3.0 upgrade that we considered, since the size had increased, whether to upgrade both metric and imperial scales to more appropriate dimensions. As you can see, the scale on the 3.0 is much more reasonable and standardized. The metric scales is 5 centimeters and the imperial scales is 2 inches. Speaking of scales, the back of the 3.0 also has a small feature. It's marked with M3, M4, M5 all the way to M12. What is this function for? M indicates the size of the corresponding standard external hex nut. How do you use this function? For example, if you need to tighten an M8 external hex nut, you simply align the ceramic bead to M8, perhaps a little further, and in this position it will particularly easy to tighten. At the same time, notice a small detail here. On the 3.0, as the 2.0 is too small. On the 3.0, because the bead is larger, there can be some issue with indication. As you can see here, a straight line is specifically here. If you only use the ceramic bead for positioning, it always feels like there's some virtual error in the measurement. It also applies to the back. This is detailed because only our side need to be aligned. The bottom doesn't. So there is no line here, as you can see. This is a small detail regarding indication. Another point is that from feedback on our TiSpanner 1.0, we found that we carried. For example, if TiSpanner with keys or other items, the jar would shake open through the day, often fully extending. Why does this happen? Well, there's a gap between the screw rod and knob threads. So with constant shaking, it keeps moving down. We will address this issue in both 2.0 and 3.0 versions. And how did we solve it? It's not very clear in the 2.0, but it's much clearer than 3.0. You see two magnets in the slot. One is specifically for holding the driver bead, and the other is what I use to prevent it from open on its own. There's a magnet here, and the carriage paneling, there's also a hole in the middle of the screw rod. Directly below its carrying position. Let me open it up looking from this direction. A magnet is inserted into a hole here. These two magnets only attract each other when the jar is closed. So even if there's a slight gap and it can wobble back and forth, it gets pulled back by the magnets each time it wobbles down. The wobbling still exists, but it's within a certain range. it wouldn't continue to open further. This is our solution. At the same time, you will notice a design change. In the 2.0 model, the sharpening stone function is located on this side, near the D-ring. In the 3.0 model, there are two versions. One with a treating wheel at the bottom, and the other with a sharpening stone. The sharpening stone on the 3.0 is placed on this side. It was due to two considerations. First, look at the appearance. If I placed a sharpening stone on this side, if the blade was slightly wider, this part here would actually obstruct me from sharpening the knife, because this is not a pure flat surface. What was the other consideration? Because my D-ring is positioned on this side. If my sharpening stone was also on this side, when you sharpen the knife, the keys will hang down. This makes sharpening feel awkward and with the keys dangling. If you try to hold the keys with your hand, because the keys are on this side, you grab keys like this. At the same time, you try to grab this object. As you can see, because I'm sharpening a knife, my hand would largely be exposed to the blade, which is a very dangerous action. However, if my sharpening stone is on this side, look how I hold it. The keys naturally hang down. I can then pinch the key with my hand. Because this jar here is relatively large, as you can see, this side is higher than that side. In such situation, I can largely hide my hand behind the wrench to shaping this knife. So that's a detailed update on the position of the sharpening stone, making it more user-friendly. Another aspect is here, as you can see. In the 3.0 version, we will upgrade all models with a driver bit. When removing the bit, don't try to pry it out with your fingers. It's quite difficult. You can press it on either side, and as you can see, it springs right out. Let's do it again. It springs out naturally, allowing it to be removed. The standard bit included as follows. It's marked with specifications on it. Can you see it? A page 1 Phillips head and a T6 Turk's head. We believe these two are the most likely bit size you will need in everyday life. It's held here. We previously considered holding it here, but it would always wobble around. Later we found that holding it in the bottle opener sections is very logical. It won't move left or right, it won't wobble in this direction, so this bit is held here. After use, simply place it back for magnetic attachment. Finally, let's look at two small detail updates. One is bottle opener. This bottle opener must be open wide enough to be effective. The bottom part here hooks onto the outer edge of the beer bottle cap. This is how you open a beer bottle. The other is a nail puller function on top. Both the 2.0 and the 3.0 models have it. Because the 2.0 is smaller, this area can be designed to be thinner. If you need to pull a nail, it's easier to wedge it and extract the nail. However, the 3.0 has a larger body and the jar is quite thick. That would make the nail puller function less effective. Since it's included, we wanted to make it more usable. Therefore, in the 3.0 version, we will implement this small detail. Can you see it? The nail puller section is specifically thin down. Let's allow it to easily wedge under nails and press them out. So this are the design details corresponding to the TiSpanner series products and how we will better implement these functions. Thank you all.